In today's video, we're going to tackle a very common issue with older air-cooled Porsches. This happens to be a 1979 911 SC, but this also applies to any of the air-cooled up to 89 down to early 70s. That problem is a very wobbly steering wheel. Now there are a couple other videos out there on this subject, and this is certainly not the best, but I wanted to get a little bit closer shots. Maybe you can get an idea of what we're looking at here. But again, a lot of up and down, really no side to side, mostly up and down. First thing we need to do is take off the horn, only after you disconnect the negative terminal from the battery, because you don't want to accidentally honk the horn or anything like that. And anytime you are working on anything, really you should disconnect the negative terminal. We're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll show you how to pop this cover off. Now that we have the battery disconnected, you're going to gently pull up. I wouldn't pry with a tool, but just pull up and you should be able to get the horn assembly off. There we go. And then before you yank it all the way out, there is a, well, it came out, but there is one wire for the horn. See, here's little springs. These are what capture the actual horn button. Same thing with the 4-spoke wheel, just gonna have 4 spokes, a little bit more to pull off, but it should just pull right off. Inside of here we've got a 27mm nut. Now might be a good idea, I like to center up the steering wheel. It does not look quite center on camera, but it is center. And then you can take a marker and kind of mark your center line. And then you can either hold the steering wheel and get a ratchet with a 27mm nut and take it off, or you can just take it off with an impact. There's our nut. You also have a washer in here. There's our washer. And you can simply wiggle the steering wheel off. Now if it's tough to get off, like this one appears to be, you may want to put the nut on and then give it a yank, because you don't want the steering wheel to hit you in the face, but we'll see if we can get it off without doing that. There we go. But you can see there where I made my mark, and then you can see how loose that shaft is. Now what happens is there's a bushing in there that just disintegrates basically, and you should be able to pick it out if you need to. This one looks like it's completely gone, but before we reinstall the replacement part, we do need to pull off this little C-clip. So now make sure there's nothing, no remnants, which it doesn't appear that there are. Here's our replacement piece. I purchased this from it's a Renline part, but I purchased it from Pelican. They're not a sponsor or anything, it's just the only place I could find it, and I actually order a lot of parts from them. So here's the piece, which is, I believe, Delrin. It says nylon, but we will soon see if we need to remove that star nut. I don't believe you need to. We could probably take that star nut out altogether. It's just a star washer. I keep on calling it a star nut. It's technically just a washer. And actually we probably shouldn't need that. I see why now. There's all kinds of pieces of gunk in there. And we're back. Apologize for the barking dogs. Neighbor's dog's barking like it does all the time. So yeah, that is what it is. And the garage door's open. So we've got our circlip or E-clip, whatever we want to call it, removed. We removed the star washer, which we needed to do. And now it's time to put in this new nylon washer. Now, this does not need any kind of lube or anything like that. We're going to simply put it in place. We're actually going to use our socket that we use to take everything off. We're going to tap it in place with a plastic mallet here. That is a really, really tight fit. No wobble. Now we're going to put the set screws in. The only thing these set screws are for is if you need to remove this. So you can tighten up the set screws and it'll back it back out. We're going to take our set screws and put them in. If you don't take the star washer off, this will not seat down far enough in order to clear the E-clip or what have you. Now if you ever have to take it off, simply just start screwing down the set screws a little bit each time, and this will assist in basically pushing this bushing back up, and it's actually coming out. We're past that groove where that C-clip goes. I'll just show you that we can take it all the way back out. Not sure why you would want to unless you're replacing it. In that case you could cut it off, I suppose. We're going to take it all the way out just for giggles. Now that we've got the set screws all the way turned in, we should be able to pull it out. One set screw came out, but you can see how those push onto that. Yeah, that was better. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall our set screws. Again, not really needed, but obviously pretty nice if you ever need to take it back out. Now I did order 2 of these just to be safe. Just never know, I might need one again in the future, and they do go out of stock pretty often. We've got our set screws reinstalled. There's no play. Go ahead and put your clip back in. Now you could order a new one of these, but I did not. Now we're ready to reinstall the wheel. You can see my mark is still there. I haven't moved the wheels, but in case I did, I would have my reference mark. Okay, now we're going to reinstall our wheel. We can reinstall our washer. Now there is a little bit of up and down right now. That will go away. And you'll notice this washer is kind of bent. Kind of acts as a crush washer. Reinstall the nut. Take our impact, put it back in. And there is absolutely no play in that thing. That is going to feel so much better. Wow. Hook our horn back up. Again, it's just one wire. Place the horn assembly back where it needs to go. Give a little tap. And that is it. Again, there are other videos that have this information. Hopefully this one being a little bit right in your face. I kind of wanted to do that and make it a little bit like it's first person. That way you could get a feel for what it looks like. It's kind of hard at a side angle to see what's going on. And hopefully if you have one of these air-cooled Porsches, or lucky enough to, they're amazing cars. If you've got this issue, you can definitely fix it. It literally takes like 10 minutes. It's not bad at all. And that is it. Any questions or comments, post those below. And as always, thanks for watching.